We are live, ladies and gentlemen. You have found yourself at the most recent installment of the Mecca of Banter. I am your this week's host, Young Yid, a Young Hoov, Young Goov. I have of many names, most of which know me by just Andy. But
Jesus, man.
I'm not sure anyone actually even calls me that on this podcast. Like, that
Yeah,
just doesn't
I don't
come.
know if I've called you Andy anytime recently since high
No,
school,
I go
probably.
Hoove, or then I even go Andrew. I feel like I would go both of those
Wow.
over
The
it.
only you're one of three people on the place, like the face of the earth, that call me Andrew. Two of which, one is my grandma and the other is my sister's.
Would you like to be known by Andrew?
No, let's stick with Hoof. I'm good with that.
Okay.
It's what I answer to for the most
I didn't
part.
know if this intro was your campaign for a name change, or what's the word?
No, I don't plan anything that I ever come into this podcast with. So everything you hear from Hoof is off the dome, and it's sometimes it's good, sometimes it's shit. You never know. But welcome, gentlemen. I've got the lads with me this week. It's been 2 weeks off for me. I'm more than happy to be back and chat over, being a miserable soccer supporter. It's the best thing in the world, and you can't tell me otherwise. But Nikki, my boy, checking in. What's up?
I feel like you've said it in a lot of different pods besides this one about a roller coaster of the Spurs, and I feel like I'm on a roller coaster right now myself when it comes to my fandom, because you never know what you're going to get when it comes to Chelsea. So I am happy, though, the consistency of this podcast. I love getting on here and chatting with you boys. It's one of my favorite things in the week. So even though we did not get 3 points and I'm not stoked about it, but I'm always pumped to talk to you boys about some footy. So happy to be here. As always, you can find me on Twitter at HP4. But yeah, pumped.
You guys have had a hell of a few weeks. Wild 4 weeks, I'd say.
It's that December for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Every December.
Chelsea is a real thing,
Yeah.
and they should do a documentary on it.
Is it like a lunar thing? Like, is it in the universe? Like, it just feels like it really does come around every December. Hen, what's up? Top dog. Great day to be a United fan.
It is a great day to be a United fan. What's up, fellas? It's your boy Hen here. We're not going to dive into it today, but how funny is St. Louis City? Like, just as a club, we go out and we get a sporting director. We hire a head coach. Yondu is how you say his name, I suppose. 3 MLS Super Draft players, and we don't sign Kessler. Funny. We're just a funny club. We are a funny club headed into the 2026 season. I have zero expectations, yet I decide to wear this hat today because I love my club, unfortunately. And I can say that about my stateside club, and I can say that about my English club, Manchester United, coming off of an unconvincing performance, a lot of injuries, and boy, am I happy to be here. Good to see you both.
We are happy to have you, and I'm gonna walk you back a little bit. Let's jump in a lot of that.
Let's do St. Louis City, shall we?
Let's do some of that St. Louis City, huh? We hired Johan Damet pretty much during our recording last week.
Yeah, it was like breaking news during our recording.
Yeah, no one checked their phones, I guess, to lay anything down about that. So, but since then, we have had a full presser with Corey Ray, the sporting director. I got some thoughts. I did watch the entirety of that presser and pulled some details out of it that I thought were noteworthy. But little background on the lad. Let me get my notes here. He is our 4th head coach, if you want to consider interims.
Well, if it's interims, he's our 5th. Yeah,
5th.
We had Carnell, Hackworth,
Critch, Olaf.
Yeah. That's 5.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So fifth general head coach, 3rd official head coach. Spent the last 3 years as an assistant under Wilfred Nancy at Columbus Crew. Was a part of their Cup winning season in 2023, as well as their League Cup championship in 2024. Spent some previous time with LA Galaxy, an interim head coach at FC Cincinnati on 2 different occasions. So we've only gone and done it again and hired someone who has 0 head coaching experience. 0's rough. He had some interim experience in there, but we are giving him the reins. I do feel that there was a huge connection between Corey Ray, who spent some time with him previously at FC Cincinnati, and that definitely helped. I would imagine having a personal connection with the new sporting director was a positive thing for him, and it might be a positive thing for us. The piece that I'm going to throw out that I pulled from the presser, I tweeted it as well. I think they used the word alignment 30 times in the course of a 15-minute
which tells me that they
presser.
are not aligned.
Well,
If I know
yeah,
anything from
yeah.
corporate speak, I know that that is not the case.
100%.
It sounds like that's the number one objective for them, which also tells me that no one previously has ever been aligned, like from top down. And I think it's not that hard for us to look at and be like, yeah, no shit, we weren't aligned. Olaf lied on his resume and his job interview, comes in, does the opposite of what everyone expected him to do, including front office and sporting director. Carnell had plenty of issues, including negative tactical flexibility and potentially some relationship issues within the front office and squad. So it was very clear to me that they are all on the same page, or that they want to be all on the same page, which is a good thing. You want that. You don't want an Olaf situation where you don't know what you're going to get. It sounds to me that we are going to be a little bit more on the ball. Shout out our lad, Will Branton. Bratton?
Not Batman, Bratton.
Not Batman. STL City SC views throughout some details. Certainly run a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. We're definitely looking to instill some more possession, and he did talk about that in the presser. Wants to be a high press team, but he wants it to make sense. Which, like everything the guy said, to be fair, I have a better view of him than I did before the presser. Everything he said was great. Like it was a class act in public speech and what you want to hear from a manager. He said too, he's like, we're going to play a system and style that makes sense for the squad that we have available as well. That to me is tactical flexibility and just general awareness of what you have and can and can't do. His ideal situation would be possession oriented with a contextual press. And that's kind of more back to our murder ball, Bielsa ball identity that we had, and frankly did well with at the beginning of, our tenure as a club. So I think all of that's positive. Hearing the alignment word throughout a million times was not super positive, but it sounds like that's the direction that they want between Diego and Carolyn and Corey and Johan. The squad's in a real shitty place
Real
right
bad
now, if you
place.
ask me. Even, dude, I bought FIFA 26, I guess as the young kids call it these days, EAFC 26. It was on sale for Christmas because I never was paying full price, but loaded that up, made a my player, and we're like one of the worst teams in MLS. Like,
You need a
like
video game to tell you that?
yeah, no, I knew that in real life, but like you pull up the video game and you see your stars and ratings, it's like, wow, we are really, like, everyone knows we're that bad.
Yeah.
Like it's just the squad's not in a great position. But what are your guys' pulls, takeaways, thoughts? I mean, it's still so early.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, so early. Great call out. If you want me to be glass half full hen right now, we hired Corey Ray at the beginning of November. We announced our head coach. We gotta figure out the American pronunciation of his name, because literally when you watch the video, it's like Yundeme, and it's like I'm not going to be that guy. So we hired our head coach literally I think a month and a week after we hired Corey Ray, which means I agree with you, Hoove, that there's probably some sort of within the hiring of Corey Ray decision. Carolyn and Diego probably were like, what are your thoughts on a head coach? Who do you have that you've identified? That was probably some sort of it. I would be amazed if scouting and recruiting started November 3rd. So let's just say that glass half full, they moved that decision pretty quickly in a month. That's pretty good. And yeah, the alignment thing, I don't know. The Diego guy, just in general, kind of worries me. We've said it a million times on this podcast. No need to rehash old information. But yes, Olaf wasn't truthful on his interview, but Diego was the one who signed off on it. So it's is it shame on Olaf or is it shame on Diego? I think it's somewhere in the middle of both. But yeah, if he's using alignment this many times, perhaps previous tenures weren't aligned, which makes me as a fan feel like an absolute idiot. Because think about all the times that we sat on here being like, we're Lutz until it's backwards. And it's were we just duped for 3 years, And I don't want to go down that route. I don't think we need to blame him or anything. But, I think our roster's in a really chaotic spot. In that same message that Will put out, he did like, okay, if we do a 4-2-3-1 or if we do a 4-3-3 or whatever it is that we're going to do, this is like our strongest lineup of what we have available. And it's not great. It's also not terrible, but it's so far from great. And then it gets even more worrisome when you look at the guys that are outside of the 11. If you look at the bench at all, like it's so concerning. Anyone who kind of like comes off the bench that we have, and we don't have many because we have, I think, like 16 players on our roster. So,
Right.
and like 3 of them are goalies. So like, I think that we're really fucked in that regard. But yeah, man, I don't know. What are we, a month away from Coachella? Somewhere in that regard, not the music festival, the Coachella
I was
tournament.
about to say
Yeah. We're gonna go see Bieber in a month, baby. No, but like the bootleg streaming tournament that happens every preseason.
I love it.
Yeah, that we're just like glued to our phones,
I'm so ready for that again.
Yeah, as if we're watching Marquette High School JV. But
feels that way.
So if we're a month away, we have so much shit to do. I don't know. It's hard for me to be optimistic, truly. I don't know all the strings that are being pulled behind the scenes, but there's been a couple of posts being floated around by a lot of aggregators and whatnot of like, here are some people who are available, or if I were Corey Ray, here's what I would do. And it's a bunch of people I've never heard of. Doesn't mean that they can't be good. I am not a sporting director, so I don't have the ball knowledge like that, but it is concerning, where it's like, I just don't know where any of this stuff is going to come from. I don't have a whole lot of expectations. Yeah, I don't know.
I think you guys have both been saying it, and I think it's obviously super early to judge either of these guys. I will say one thing, and obviously I think the fact that I support Chelsea may have me thinking this way, but like I
go
like
out and spend $2 billion.
Well, no, we're not afraid of change.
Sure.
Like we aren't excited about something, or we're not liking the way a manager is doing. We're getting rid of them, and we're trying to find a replacement. So like I at least appreciate the attempt. You know what I mean? Like I think we really did need a shakeup from what we were seeing. So the fact that we did go out getting a new sporting director and a new coach makes me happy, and it shows that we're at least trying. Obviously, time will tell if we were right in our decision with who we picked, but like the fact that we're not scared to fire these guys I think at least a positive, and hopefully that something we're not scared of in the future.
Yeah, and I don't want this to ever reflect. Like I say this all the time when we talk about St. Louis City. These guys are so much closer to us than MLB baseball players or NFL players or NHL players because, I think Critch was a good dude. I'm so glad it's not Critch though. Like we're taking a gamble, and yes, I think Critch is gonna go somewhere and find a job and be just fine. And he was a great dude. I loved hearing him talk, and his pressers were great, but we didn't get better by any means. We looked a little bit more front foot, but we did not get a whole lot better. I'm happy that Nikki, I think you're right. We're taking a gamble on this guy, and what do we have to lose? We were second to last or third to last season, and we were in the same position the season before that. We have nothing to lose at this point. So with the management shift, I'm good with it. And if he comes through with the things that he says that he wants to do, then great. It'll take some time, but the roster is concerning. Like we don't have a left back outside of Kyle Hebert at all.
No.
We can't just keep hoping Lowen pulls us out of games. We need someone that he can pair with to actually anchor it down. That one, Chat City Tactics and Will City Views, both of them are like, we need to splash on a 6. And if we're going to be a possession-based team, then why would we not?
Yeah, we have to.
We've got,
yeah.
Like, if you want to look at the possession availability, Hartle and Lowen are great at doing that. Sangbin's the runner on the right, and Teutcher, I think, should leave. But if he's going to be here, he's not bad in a build-up either. We've got some of those guys to be able to do that. We've got Fall, who I think has got some passing progression ability that we haven't really seen in that role. Hopefully we can fill in another center back. I don't think Bumgarnel's bad, but I don't think he's great. If we're going to do the possession thing, let's do the possession thing and get players that can do the possession thing. Like,
speaking of, can I share my screen real quick? But I'm like looking this up, and for our like the audio listeners, Chat City Tactics made a graphic of the very scientific, this guy can play in a system that likes the soccer ball rankings for St. Louis City. And it was yes, maybe, or no. And it's like, there's what, 6 guys that can
6
play with the
yeses.
yeses, and everyone's like a maybe. That's not
And they're
good.
exactly who you think.
Yeah.
It's Berkey, Ball, Lowen, Ostrak.
No one else, which
Nobody
is
else.
super concerning. But
100%.
yeah,
So it's, glass half full. I'm so negative on this podcast all the time. I'm excited. Look for that. Like let's get him in. We've got a guy. I do have to listen to a Frenchman all season, but that's fine.
whatever.
He didn't have quite the accent that I was anticipating. And really, dude, the things he was saying about coaching, like he realized when he was 14 years old that he probably wasn't going to make it as a footballer. So he started coaching U10s and U11s as a 16-year-old. And like his passion and what he said about being a manager and managing people and kids. He's like, it's all down to the human. He's like, I want to create connections with these people. I want to help them grow in the roles that they're in. I want to play good soccer. Like everything he said, I was drinking it up. Like, all right, dude. Then I said on Twitter,
Prove
like,
it.
prove it. Yeah, prove it. I'll back him till the wheels fall off,
Yep.
and the wheels could fall off week 4.
Yeah.
But I have no reason to think anything of him outside of, maybe there's a glimmer of hope here. So who knows,
That's why
man?
we're fans, bro. Like, I mean, literally,
That's
like
why we're fans.
we're gonna sit here all the way up until day 1 of the season saying like, I'm not sure, and that day 1 of the season we're gonna be fucking blaring the drums down in downtown St. Louis, trying to like
Yep.
amp the team up. It's just
Freed from Desire is gonna ring from Maggie O'Brien's, and I'm gonna have 4 or 5 man sodas.
Yep.
And we're gonna absolutely rip.
and we're gonna
do it again,
rip,
but
bro.
we're gonna rip.
It's gonna be great.
Hopefully brings the life back into the fans.
Wait. Before
I think it sucks big time. The only defense to that is how injury prone he was.
yeah,
But man, he was so good when he was fit.
yeah.
Just as much as you guys were saying, we need a 6. I think, and I've been beating this drum for a
Dog.
long
Day 1.
We need a center back.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Obviously,
we got a Baumgartner Yarrow partnership.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Obviously, the MLS is a lot different than the Premier League, but like I think in the Premier League, your center backs are almost the most important people in possession. So like, as much as we want to be a possession-based team, I think having a center back that can break lines and can play out of the back is super important.
Nikki, I will hand it to you. We do love to dog you sometimes, but brother, you day 1 were like, Tim Parker's not it.
Ball knowledge.
We need someone else in there. We got 2 more guys in there. We're rotating them. You're like, none of this is still not it. I will give you absolute flowers on that.
What I can't understand though is like, I would love in a perfect world exactly what you said, Nikki, like a center back who can break lines, who can like pick out a pass. I'm gonna pull a biased remark out of here, but like Lisandro Martinez is like one of the best Premier League defenders at breaking lines going forward. I don't need a Lisandro Martinez in my team. I need 2 or 3 center backs. You're laughing, Nick, but statistically, he is. And like when you watch him, he is that guy. Regardless, I don't need someone.
Is all I gotta say.
What'd you say?
Said I don't want him at City.
Dude,
is all I gotta say.
he would be a dog. Can you imagine him just fucking someone up and then getting injured for the rest of the season because he does that? But like, what I can't understand is like, we're not even asking for that all the time. We're just asking for like center backs, 2 or 3 center backs that can be at least competent on the ball. Like, you don't know what to do, keep possession. Like, play it sideways, play it backwards, get the ball, move. Like, you don't need to hit a 40-yard ball. Like, find a center midfielder, but just retain possession. It's the easiest thing.
You're coming in with quite literally the best safety net behind you in the league. Like,
just play him the ball.
Get him the ball.
Yeah,
play him the ball, dude.
Yeah, I
think Berkey's better than all of our center backs.
Totally. Yeah.
100%, bro. Yeah.
Totally. I just, as a former center back, it's so easy to train getting comfortable on the ball. Like, just receive the ball all the time. Like, do it all the time. And I don't know what's going on at training sessions. I don't know if those guys are doing things like out of training sessions to try to get better at it. But it's like, it's just hold on. I watched some of the other teams that we play, and it's not like they have center backs who are like world beaters in possession, but they just make smart decisions.
Correct.
I think center back is one of the positions where like you can be really good defensively and fine on the ball as long as your fine is safe and like you're not giving the ball away.
I'm really hoping this coach, it's hard, obviously, the previous coaches that we've had to get consistency in center backs when we don't have a good one. So like I understand the problem that they had, but like I really do think a lot of it can be fixed with just sticking with two and letting them figure it
Yeah,
out.
you're our guys.
Yeah,
You do your thing. Yeah.
especially like possession wise, because then they start finding out what works for them.
Yep.
And like
That's
once
fair.
they get like, if you're not good on the ball, like then you find that like, oh, I'm finding low in a lot more, like in possession. Like that's something that you learn with experience and time in game and on the ball. And like I haven't seen, I'm pretty sure we can pull up the stat of how many different center back pairings we had last year,
Ugh.
and it would literally make you laugh
Mhm.
because like not only did we have different pairings, we had different formations completely throughout the entire year. Like we had 3 center backs at one point, we had 2, we were switching out of and rotating. Like it just, as a defender, I could only imagine playing for this side. So like I really hope we figure it out next year because I think that's the core of everything moving forward. If you don't allow goals, you're in games. And I think especially like the style that this coach is saying he wants to play, I think it's going to be super important.
Yep, it'll be a big one. Hopefully, we start to see some moves coming in now. Well, last piece on that, Corey Ray too in this presser was like stressing to the press that like he said, I've been looking for players too. I promise you guys. Like I haven't just been sitting over here doing nothing. I guarantee you that we're in the market and we're doing it. So I was like, well, good to hear and good to know that he's already got that pressure on him.
Yeah. This could be bad. I feel like the talent is out there. Like what are
Totally.
we on?
Totally.
Like
You see every other team in the MLS do it. So it's out there.
and just not even the MLS, but like in all these other leagues out there, I see these players and I'm like, these guys they're better than everyone on City. And I'm like, I'm watching Portuguese too. Like what like I think the excuse of I'm looking for players and I can't find any is bullshit. Like there's
Dude,
so much talent out there. It is absolutely insane. Maybe your
give
picks and who you're trying to look at isn't a good group, but like there's good talent out there.
Dude, give me a South American winger.
Bro,
Please,
Like it's all I want.
God,
That's all I want.
give me a South American winger, dude. That's it.
Let me and Hoove go to Brazil for a week. And like
Dude,
we'll bring you 2 wingers that will start for us immediately.
and we'll find them in the favela. We won't
That's
even
what I'm
find them with an
saying.
official
Like,
club, brother. We'll just pull some guys off the street. And be better off.
Hilarious.
that's what I'm trying to get out.
100%.
Like the talent is there. Like we need to figure something out.
The talent's there. Will we find it? Who knows? We don't know. I guess we trust these guys until we don't, but that's football, lads. That's what we do. Take a quick jaunt across the pond. We had a few major games pop up this weekend. A lot of interesting results, a lot of interesting outcomes and plays and how the games turned out. Start with the early window. Chelsea went to St. James, which again, you've heard me on this podcast say 100% my least favorite place to play as a fan.
You mean
Tough place to play. What?
Reece James Park?
Reece James Park. There you go. 2-2 at Newcastle. Early window. Down 2-0 at half. Came back to draw at all. What did you pull from it, Nikki?
I have a lot for this one because I think I can summarize it pretty quickly with it was a tale of 2 halves. If any of you guys woke up for this game, I was unfortunately up for it. I should have just slept through the entire first half. But
we're fans. It's what we do.
I usually do. I almost always sleep through the first half of the 6:30 window, but yeah.
We got bullied. We came to St. James Park and it looked like we did not want to be there. Newcastle came out flying and with an energy that we could not match. We were getting bossed in the midfield. They scored early on us and I was like, this is not going to be good. The whole entire first half, I couldn't even see us producing a goal for the rest of the game. That's how bad it was. We didn't have anything moving forward. They could have had 3 or 4 in the first half. Honestly, Robert Sanchez kind of stood on his head a little bit, even though he allowed 2 goals. But luckily for us, whatever Maresca said in his halftime talk worked because in the second half, we came out like we actually wanted to be there. I think Reece James is the sole reason why we got a point in this game. Not only offensively, but defensively for us. He scored an incredible free kick that
it was so good, man.
I had this gut feeling. I don't, and you can call bullshit or anything, but the moment that we got that foul, I was like, Reece James is about to do something crazy. He just has that instinct in him of like, oh, this is like a big moment. I'm gonna actually try to put this on frame. He's just that
As
guy.
opposed to the other times where he doesn't try to put it on frame.
Well, well, he sometimes doesn't even take them, but like I'm like
Yeah.
big moments when we need a goal. Reece James is usually hitting them, and I'm usually going, oh shit, like this is a usually it's has a chance to go in, and boy did he put a banger in. I also think it's so interesting because Petrovic is their goalie, so like
Oh, yeah.
the fact that they've probably trained within the last year and a half together with on free kicks, I thought that was kind of funny. A bunch of takeaways away from this for me.
Wait, Ramsdale's our keeper.
Oh, it was Rams.
Yeah.
He was
Petrovic is
he was
Bournemouth.
Why did I was thinking it was Petrovic. That's my bad. But yeah, it was Ramsdale, who isn't a bad keeper by any means. So
England
I
buddies
also
too. Yeah.
yeah, I also think I don't know if you guys once again watched it, but he had a tackle late in the game on I think it was either Harvey Barnes or Anthony Gordon who had a one-on-one with Sanchez. That was just a tackle and a half. Reece James pretty much saved us for this game. Also, João Pedro's goal, we were kind of mentioning about it before the podcast. It wasn't great defending by Newcastle, but I also think the touch to settle it with your head on a kick from your goalie and to have control like that is by no means an easy task
No, no, no.
while you have a defender on your back. So, like, I thought that was brilliant from him. And the fact that he was able to finish it is something I have wanted from a Chelsea striker for so long. Like, obviously, it's no glamorous role to be the striker of Chelsea because you're not getting that many chances. But when you do get the chances, you capitalizing them is huge. I also looked it up. He has 5 Premier League goals, and every single goal he has was like a crucial goal for us, whether it was to tie the game or to win the game. So the fact that we have a striker that can score for us is awesome.
What's his
Okay.
goal tally at for like
5.
in all comps?
All comps, I'd have to look it up, but I know he has 5.
Because what'd you say?
I have
20?
20.
Yeah, 20.
20 is the bet that I have with Dope for $50. I think it might hit. I think it might hit. We'll see though. Okay. But the one thing I honestly want to talk about in this game, and it's something that I've kind of been noticing in the last couple of games, and I'm not pumped to talk about it. But,
Garnacho?
well, it wasn't even him, but I think Garnacho, that was something else I wanted to hit on. I think Garnacho was complete ass in this game. The reason why I didn't even think I needed to hit on it is because I feel like I hit on this every week. I am by no means a Garnacho fan. I haven't been a Garnacho fan. And once again, the reasons why I don't like Garnacho was why he was bad in this game. He is awful at decision making. He hit the ball over the net 30 times. We probably had 4 goals if we had a different left winger in. Also, let me note to you that the right back in this game is normally a center midfielder, and he literally pocketed Garnacho for an entire 75 minutes, and we were making subs. Okay, but regardless, what I was going to say is Cole Palmer on the field for us this season, him coming back for injury, I think has changed how we play and how we move forward offensively. And I don't know if we are in sync like we used to. I think last year with the team that we had, Cole was having to bail us out a lot. And so he was having to get on the ball a whole bunch and kind of facilitate. I think when he got injured, we were still kind of flying offensively and scoring goals, and we were playing very simple. Enzo was kind of bossing it in the midfield for us, and our production did not stop this year when Cole was injured. And I think when he came back, he kind of brought his old last year style of he needs to get on the ball a whole bunch and kind of guide the play moving forward. And I don't know if this team is that way. We're very much, I think, quicker, and we want to play simpler, and we want to transition a lot faster. And I think Cole kind of hinders that at the moment. So I think there's some learning that needs to happen as far as some, like, I don't even know how to say it, but whatever's going on right now for us offensively, it's not clicking. And I think a big part of that is because Cole's kind of been integrated back in there, and he's someone that demands the ball and likes to have the ball at his foot a lot. And it's something that we haven't been used to the last couple of weeks. So I just calling it out now because I want to see how that progresses and if we get better.
I respect that shout.
Would love for him to come to United. If you want to get rid of him, be happy to take him.
He's been a ghost of himself since the injury for sure. And people, you have that. Like that is what it is. But
By no means do I want to get rid of him.
I think you're right though.
I'm hearing that you want to get rid of him. I'll take him at
No.
United.
I also, in this game, like Enzo Fernandez came on and I think completely changed the game. I think he's been having a low-key incredible season. All the talk's been on Caicedo and Reece James in the midfield, but I think Enzo has been very good for us this year. So hopefully him and Cole can kind of figure it out.
Hopefully they can. I guess it was the match of the weekend. Liverpool came to visit the old Dr. Tottenham. Anyone who's ever having a bad season or a string of bad games or poor results, Dr. Tottenham will fix that right up. No problem, lads. I watched this one at my grandma's 88th birthday party. So let me preface all of this
Shout out.
with that. Shout out Betty Hoover. We love her to death, the best, but she did not need to see my emotions and feelings on her special day. But that was what happened.
Sorry, Granny.
Where do we start? Like, should we just jump into the red card?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start there. I'm sure you have some opinions, but what a load of shit. Like, I mean, obviously you're going to be biased in your take for sure, but just like, I think he's going for the ball, missteps. It's like it's not egregious. And I've seen so many examples of the exact same thing happening, including Virgil van Dijk, by the way.
On Dom Solanke last year.
Yeah, with things not being called. Sometimes a yellow, sometimes not even a yellow. Certainly
Right.
not a send-off, but like absolutely destroys any bit of excitement the game has. I mean,
Yeah.
like this is your time, like Liverpool is down. They're just in bad form. Tottenham, if there was ever a time for Tottenham to pull out a result, it'd be this one. And yeah, fucking red card, just so stupid.
I will back off of how I felt on Saturday because one, it's a stupid decision from Xabi. Like, he's just in a bad place to be making that tackle. And yeah, he got studs on the calf for sure. But brother, we watch it back. He really did kind of just glance his leg. Like I saw it, and then they go to VAR, and he's off. Like there's no question. I'm aware that that's probably going to happen. But for what I've watched for the last year, dude, you just don't know if anything's ever actually going to be held up. And not even that, Ekitike had both of his arms outstretched on Romero's back for his goal. Was it weak from Romero? Yes, he jumped too late for sure. But that gets called everywhere, even more so in the box. That'd be one of those things that we were like, that was soft, but that's called everywhere else on the field. Because we say that all the time on this podcast. And it's true because sometimes things get pulled back for weak calls, but he probably would have gotten that in the center circle.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a heavy shove, but you can't get away with your two hands being locked out on a defender's back anywhere. That one actually blew my mind. The red card even less so than that because it was so evident, and we're in this age where everything's under a microscope, right? We're hyperfixating on the freeze frames of. So how are we hyperfixating on one freeze frame of studs on a calf that glanced him? It was not a smart tackle and 100% a yellow. I felt red was harsh 100%. But then we're not doing the same thing on the other side of the ball for an Ekitike goal. Like they just determined that was fine. That one was what really blew my mind. And I think the worst part about it is that these red cards sucked away from the fact that Thomas Frank has no clue what he's doing still. Like, wish that didn't happen. And the game was there for us. Our best period of the game was with 9 men, 10 men previous to that. 10 men, we looked great. We were absolutely hounding them the last 5-6 minutes. And then, Romero's red card was stupid, but, sit there and call him a dirty player all you want. That's what I want my center back to be. I want that level of passion and intensity in every game, 90 minutes, no question. That's my club captain. And I don't think he is dirty. I think he plays hard, and I think he's just your standard Argentinian defender. But the fact that we just do this every time. We wait to the end of the game. We're down 2 goals, and then we decide to go for it. Like, I'm so sick of watching a Brentford manager. He thinks he's still coaching Brentford and is going to do something. He's like, yo, don't forget we had a team. We finished in 17th last year. Brother, we didn't want to finish in 17th. 14th isn't progress. That's not getting better.
No.
It everything drives me insane. I'm so sick of Carlson being our best striker. He keeps scoring goals. This is not what it's supposed to be. Not supposed to be waiting for him to, be the fox in the box. It's just, dude, the
His
game was there for us.
him scoring and then shoving Ekatike to the
So
ground
funny.
and then
Dude,
testing Soboslai was
dude,
fucking so great.
I loved it. Shoves him straight back into the ground in the net, gets out there, and he's like doing the
Yeah,
classic,
and
"Wait,
Soboslai
we're gonna go get
steps up
another
to him
one."
and just
Soboslai says something from 10 feet away, and he's stopped in his tracks, goes and gets in his face. And, like, bro, that's, like, all I'm asking
He's
for.
such a
Like,
psycho, bro.
he's
bro,
a
he's such
psychopath.
a psycho.
Did we see his Instagram post of the AI dyeing Sonny's hair on the streets of
Yeah,
Brazil?
I thought it was
It's
real. It took me, like, so long to realize it wasn't real.
He's got, like, all these Brazilian legends around, like, having a beer on the streets of Brazil, and he's dyeing Sonny's hair blonde, and it's all AI. Like, no, he should not have let this man get his hands on artificial intelligence, but that's what I love his
I
intensity, and
love how your hen's keyboard immediately start typing to look that up. That's hilarious.
Spurs did not have as much possession, but we had more of an XG. We were better in front of net. We were obviously pinned back for a majority of the game because you get a red card in the 35th. That's what it's going to be. But like the lion's share of what we were doing in the first half, even before the red card, was better than Liverpool. Like we looked better than Liverpool. And then the last 10 minutes of the game, I thought we were going to go and get a winner, like or a equalizer. So it's just dude, same week, different shit. You know, and
I gotta
I'm
ask.
mad that
I know. Just hand up. What do you make of the Van de Ven tackle on Isak?
okay.
For our listeners that don't know, Isak is out like for a couple months with allegedly a broken ankle because of this tackle. But
I I have mixed feelings and I don't know how to like say it was rash. It was a wild tackle, I think. But also as a defender tracking on a one-on-one with the keeper, what other choice does he have? You in my opinion, he's taking ball or man. And like 100%, I think that's the right call. We're already down. We've already got a man down. You've just got to do anything you can to get in front of it. But he definitely clatters him, and it definitely looked really bad. And I don't like defend that. I don't think anyone thinks Mickey's dirty either. But like, it was just like, what else was he really supposed to do there?
I just watched it for the first time because I didn't know exactly which one you were talking about. That tackle happens once or
yeah,
twice a
I think
game.
he just got his like angle
He
incorrect, and it was kind
caught,
of like a scissor
yeah,
tackle. It was unfortunate.
he was a little bit behind him, which is the issue because we've all seen Mickey make that tackle a million times. Like that's
Sure
one of the
did.
things he does well is yeah,
Shout out
hell yeah,
Benjamin
you did.
Sesko.
Oh, there's also a difference between I'm sliding to block this shot and I'm sliding to tackle someone. And like you can clearly tell in this one that he's trying to block a shot.
Yeah, he sticks that long ass giraffe leg out, and like he does all the time, and then his trailing leg, which he can't move, by the way, it's not something he can pull out of the way of Isak, catches him and twists it, and it was bad. Like I feel bad for the guy. I don't really have any qualms with him I don't think Flan would be sitting here like another red card for but I understand why people were like that was dirty.
Can you
I don't
imagine if it
I don't
was
I think it
Romero?
was
Then everyone
dude.
would
He
be
would have
losing
been
their mind.
he'd have gone to prison. They would have booked him for assault.
I would never have this reaction because I don't wish injuries upon anyone because I've had some of those in my career. But Newcastle Twitter when Isak got injured was wild.
You want to talk about a real classy bunch?
Wild is all I gotta say.
Those
I
lads up north don't give a
I
shit.
also was not celebrating injuries, but I was like, man, offloading Isak when I did in fantasy, it was pretty good. Pretty good. Thank you, JP.
End of the day, that Isak finish was such a good finish too. It was a really good finish. It was a good setup from Wirtz. Glad he got his goal contribution. Of
I'm
course, it was
not.
against
Fuck that
Tottenham.
guy.
Yeah, the Ekatike one was a good finish too. If he just didn't have his arms outstretched, like it just
Mm-hmm.
the small pieces that I take away from this really bother me, but Liverpool deserved it. You get a red card in 35th. You have to be the ones that are on the front foot. They come away with 3 points and we come away with 0 again. And what's next? Who do we play? Crystal Palace or something? I don't know. It's whatever, dude. Everything's dark and gray and dreary.
Yeah, it is interesting. You mentioned Ekitike, and we didn't really talk about it during the Chelsea game, but Woltemade with another two strikers that, I'll be honest with you, I was unsure of how they would pan out in the Premier League just because they were young, very different play style than we've seen traditionally work, and they've settled right on it. They're bagging. Good on them. Woltemade is turning into a must-watch for me.
So good.
Yeah.
He's
I
just
also
great.
think he fits their style of play so well.
Yeah, Eddie Howe's going to get balls into the big man, but he also drops a little bit deep, and he's got way better feet than he should for how big he is.
It's like Ekitike. Ekitike's the exact same way. Like, he's silky. He's really good with the ball at his feet. I like that guy a lot.
I watched Ekitike almost single-handedly knock Spurs out of the Europa League last year, and I had a little bit better of a feeling with him. I was not watching whatever team Woltemade was with.
Wolfsburg or whatever.
Yeah, he's come really good, and I like him. I think he's actually a good dude too. Some of his pressers have been really funny, and just like he's living with his best friend, and just told his buddy to come live with him, and like I love that.
I fuck with Ekitike a lot too. Like
I do too. Yeah,
have you seen all of his stuff? Is like, I saw a video of him. He just sits there and watches Neymar highlights. That's all he does.
As you should.
He's a kid.
Just literally watches Neymar highlights all day.
He's a ball-watching kid. I respect it.
He just balls and plays for Liverpool and then gets to watch Neymar highlights in his free time.
The other game that we will mention, Arsenal beats Everton 1-0 on a jokerous 27th minute penalty.
Did you guys watch that game?
I watched
horrible
the first half, brother.
Yeah,
I would rather watch the paint dry.
It's already been said once. We've already said it once. Doesn't need to be said. Arsenal are shaky at the moment, and a team that's not shaky is Manchester City. So we'll see how the rest of the year goes. Is all I'll
We shall see. That game sucked.
It was so bad.
Sucked to watch.
I also
think you can go ahead.
I was gonna say I was very surprised that Gyökeres took the pen.
I was
Saka is their penalty taker. He's great at them. That to me is like a.
I wonder if there's a bonus in Gyökeres' contract.
I mean, probably, but
that was a confidence thing.
But Arteta is the one who makes that decision. Arteta is the one who says, like, yeah, like you are the penalty taker today. If I'm Saka, I'm pissed about that. Number one. Number two, Gyökeres is such a bad player, bro.
Bro,
it's so funny. It's like,
you want to talk about offloading in fantasy,
dude.
And that was
you watch him like just play the game, and like his runs are whack. He's bad with the ball at his feet. Like, hell of a penalty. That was a great penalty.
It was a great pen. But it was a great pen.
I think Jacob Krupp is the level of Gyökeres.
Krupp's a better player. Krupp's a better all-around player than Gyökeres is. Gyökeres can kick the soccer ball 10 times harder than Jacob Krupp can. Other than that, Krupp has got it going.
I'm just saying, and for our listeners, that's like a Mecca of Banter.
Yeah, go look up Jacob Krupp highlights. You'll see.
They're out there. It's almost like he's a championship striker.
Literally.
We're just glancing over that fact. He scored 30 goals at Coventry.
One thing that, like, I don't want him to be the scapegoat. He's going to be. I don't want to say it, but when the season pans out the way I think it's going to pan out, they're not going to have any excuse because they said that they just needed a striker. They went out and got one. So now I'm wondering, is it going to just be their excuse at the end of,
no.
Well, yeah, we got a shitty striker.
No shot.
That's on us. That's on us to not let them make that excuse.
They don't get to make that excuse.
I'm just saying it now. It's all
right.
Fair.
The only other
also, Nick, you texted something in the group chat this morning. I forgot what it even was, but you like sent a response back of just your hand raised, which I thought was such a funny response. Hand up, my bad.
It was like, I think I said something. Someone was like, yeah, that already happened. And I was like,
yeah, no context, just hand up. I thought it was such a good response. I thought it was so funny.
It was, honestly, this is This is could be a good transition because I do want to talk about this game. But I was asking why Ugarte was starting over Kobe Mainu. I was like, you got to be on drugs.
Yeah.
And Dobes was like, he's injured. And I was like,
yeah, dude. It made me laugh. I loved that. It was so funny.
Speaking of the footballer of the year, potential Ballon d'Or winner, Ugarte did get the start for Manchester United against a unbelievably hot Villa. 10 wins in 10 games.
Yep.
No matter what competition you're in is
boy, does that dude that needs to cut his hair for Manchester United wish Villa.
that
Villa,
poor lad.
Villa tweeted out that guy could have cut his hair twice. Which is so funny. Like, that's just great. All right, you want to talk about the game of the week with the biggest club in England? Absolutely. Let's talk about Manchester United.
We already... What?
Let's so weird thing. We lost the game. I thought we played well, to be honest with you.
It. Moving on.
Like, yeah, period. End of story. On to the next one. I thought we played well. First half, I was so surprised. What we knew, like, before the game started, Bumo, Mazraoui, Ahmad, all out at AFCON, which are... two of those guys have been like two of our players of the year. They've been super consistent in every single starting 11. There's that. Mazraoui is always like a great option, whether he's in the 11 or coming off the bench. Always feel better when he's in the side. So we know that. Casemiro is also down with a suspension through yellow cards. So we know that. We're missing 4 of those guys, 3 of which are consistent starters every single week. I had no idea what to be expecting with this lineup. There's a lot of talk about, are we shifting to a 4-3-3? Are we staying a 3-4-3? What are we doing? And just like you, Nikki, I had the exact same reaction of when I saw the starting lineup with Ugarte in it. I literally, in my house, said, what the fuck? Oh, I was like, of course, this is like Amram's one shot to like prove that he's not a Mainu outer. And like, I look at that and then I see that he's not even in the lineup. And I thought that he got dropped because of his older brother's antics of wearing that free Kobe shirt, which,
that could be the injury.
That is actually what I'm thinking, for what it's worth. Then you find out that he's out with a calf strain. I think that it is a 1-game suspension from Amarim, but Amarim is doing the right thing by protecting Mainu, saying that he has an injury, whatever. We'll see if he's back for the Newcastle game. If he's back for the Newcastle game, I 100% think that there was a suspension, whatever. So starting off the game, I was so impressed with us in the first half. I thought that we were... Villa were terrible. I don't even need to talk about us, but Villa were not good at all. They couldn't string anything together. They were hardly in our attacking, or hardly in their attacking half. We won possession back high. We suffocated them defensively. I was really impressed with how we showed up for that game. And, Morgan Rogers just does Morgan Rogers things. I don't know if I've ever been more high on a player than I was, what was it, last year, 2 years ago, when Morgan Rogers burst onto the scene. I was very, very high on him. And still am, and he's showing why he's quality with literally 2 chances on goal. That's like all they had all game. And he took it, it is what it is. He took it. Cunha has a really great finish, as well. So 2-1, I don't think is like the story of the game, but we dropped 3 points. It is what it is. I'll be very curious of what happens as we go in to Newcastle, because we are without our captain, Bruno Fernandes, who pulled up at halftime with a hamstring. For what it's worth, in the last 6 years, he has missed 3 games.
That's crazy impressive.
Yeah, in 6 years. Talk about consistency. So we ended our game with a Lisandro Martinez and Jack Fletcher partnership in the center midfielder, which is hilarious. You couldn't have paid me to predict that.
And Henry, can you tell the listeners who your captain was when Bruno?
Diogo Dalot was the captain, which I was so surprised that it wasn't Lisandro Martinez. I was so surprised that it wasn't him.
Or like Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw is not a captain. Period.
I would take him over Dalot. I don't even think should be in your lineup.
In my pecking order, I would have put Lisandro Martinez first. I would have put Cunha second. I would have put Mason Mount third. And
Mason Mount not getting a shot there.
I agree with all of these over Dalot.
Totally. Yeah. And so next game out, we'll see. Newcastle's midfield is one of the more intimidating midfields, in my opinion, in the league. Who knows? We might start a midfield two of Casemiro and Lisandro Martinez. My guess is we'll start like some version of like Cunha, Šeško, and Mount as our front three. And then as the game progresses, we'll drop Mount into the midfield three to assist with Martinez and Casemiro. I don't want Ugarte anywhere near the starting 11. He's just not good for Manchester United. It is very, very possible that he goes somewhere else. Like he's being linked with like Fenerbahce right now for 40 million, which I'm all about.
Yeah.
Sure. It's very possible that he goes there and he's fine. Nothing to write home about, but I think in January we're really, really looking at two players. I think we'll see Xerxes leave with a loan with an obligation, and I'm hoping that we see Ugarte leave with a loan with an obligation or just a straight purchase, which may open up the doors for Semenyo, which it looks like he's between us and Manchester City, which... What'd you say? I don't know if Chelsea's in. I mean, Ornstein is saying that Ornstein says it's between Manchester City and Manchester United. So who knows? Maybe Chelsea will pop up. It wouldn't be the first time that they've done that.
The other week and saying we were talking about
you guys thought a Casemiro Martinez center like midfield pairing. I'm banging the over on yellows because that is
and Casemiro has like a fresh batch of yellows because he just served his suspension.
Yeah.
Newcastle too, so like
they're always fired up.
Bring it on.
But yeah, so I mean, other talking points of the game, like I'm stoked that Shea Lacey and Fletcher both got like their debuts coming like directly off the heels of like Manchester United fans talking about how Amram doesn't trust the youth enough. He hasn't given the youth the chances, yada yada yada. But like, mind you,
he doesn't have much of a choice in the moment.
Well, yeah, but also like, mind you, like Dorgu, Yoro, Heaven all started the game. All of like the oldest one of them is 20 years old. So it's like, you have an 18-year-old, you have two 20-year-olds in the starting 11. So there's that from the youth perspective. But, Yoro also, like, just to call it out, we were critical of Aiden Heaven against Bournemouth last week, that he didn't slide over quickly enough on Semenyo's goal. Yoro got dusted twice.
Mm-hmm. In almost the exact same fashion.
Almost the exact same thing. Now, the second goal, I'm like less critical of than the first one. The first one, again, I called it out last week. If you're an up-and-coming center back or defender of any kind listening to this podcast, thank you for listening, first of all. Second of all, go back and watch the clip of Morgan Rogers' first goal. So John McGinn sprays the ball out wide on a prayer all the way across the field. Morgan Rogers picks up the ball 35 yards from goal, all the way out on the touchline. And Yoro, instead of closing down the space and treating the touchline like a second defender to kind of like force his hand, he lets Morgan Rogers turn and start attacking him, which he does, cuts onto his
and go on his extremely favored right foot.
Yeah, it just
not a secret.
It was just a really bad defensive play. Yoro is young. He's 20 years old. I have no fear about Lenny Yoro for the future. I think that he is going to be a great defender. He just made the wrong mistake he's made the mistake in the first goal. Second goal, he needed to try to tackle that ball with his left foot instead of his right foot. He was too slow because he tried to go across his body instead of just the closest thing to it. But similar fashion, you just got to play that better. Aiden Heaven for 1 million is a steal. Dobe said it in our group chat. Getting him from Arsenal was fantastic. And I will say, Ornstein came out again with Manchester United and Manchester City are like the final two for Semenyo. And then it was revealed today at halftime of the Fulham Nottingham Forest that Manchester United have Elliot Anderson as their number one target. So let's just say we land both of them, or if we land one of them in January, we're looking at like the best 6 months of transfers since Fergie at Manchester United between this summer's transfers and the January transfers. So who knows? We'll see. It's obvious that we need some reinforcements. We don't have much on the bench right now, but
I was about to comment on that, Henry. I'm looking at your bench.
Yeah.
Can you tell me anything about any of these guys?
What do you want to know? I got you on all of them.
Alpay Bayender.
Yeah, backup goalie.
That's the backup.
Yeah, he started the year for us, and he's the reason why we lost our first academy prospect. Was really good last year. Started a couple of games and then fell out of favor with Amram.
Tyrell Malicia?
The ghost of 2
Malacia?
years ago. Remember, he like destroyed his knee and then was completely gone for 2 years and is like
Yeah.
mysteriously back in the lineup.
Bendito?
And Tato, bro, let's go. This is the one I'm really excited for. He is one of our academy prospects, and he is like highly touted as one of those wing back positions. He's a winger, and in Amarim system, they're converting him to a wing back. He is very, very highly regarded in the academy, where it's like number 70 or 71 or whatever. But
Literally number 70.
yeah, dog.
Dude.
Dog. I mean, like,
Academy boy.
you know, obviously like every team has an academy prospect that they're excited about, but like literally the 3 that were on the bench, which was like Fletcher, Shea Lacey, and Bentito Mentato, were all guys like heading into this preseason. We're all like, hey, this guy could be in the first team by the end of the season. The other one is Sekou Kone, but like 3 weeks into the season this year, he got like an elbow in like a friendly and like literally broke his eye socket. So like he would have been kind of that like depth midfielder on the bench, but he got fucked up. So Mentato will probably make his debut here in the next like 2-ish weeks, especially with like how many games are in like the December festive period. But we'll see.
What was the final result on Bruno's injury?
A hamstring, soft muscle, what is it? Soft muscle tissue or whatever, which is like always a minimum of like 3 to 4 weeks. So
Yeah, I know a thing or two about that
yeah,
these days.
you do actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
sucks.
Like best case scenario, Semenyo's like release clause or whatever is only active until January 10th. So best case scenario is we do either Semenyo's release clause like immediately, which would force, I think it would force, you know, Semenyo in that like left 10 position, Mason Mount back to the number 8, or we get like another midfielder, which would kind of free up some space because I don't think that we could go through the next month with a Casemiro Lissandro Martinez partnership. I just don't think we could do that. So
nope.
Yeah, we'll see. But Nick, don't try to quiz me on this academy ball knowledge, bro. I'm fucking locked in, dude.
That had nothing to do with quizzing you on ball knowledge. I was just
Tell me about this bench of yours, brother.
because
Nick's got too many memories of us doing the same thing to him.
Remember I asked about that one dude and Domes was like, that's my accountant or whatever. It's like whatever goalie it was. But I don't know. I think that I don't know.
I just think it shows the state of where United's at right now.
Totally, bro. Like we
never heard of any of those guys.
Yeah, and you know, AFCON is AFCON. Like, you know, you lose 3 guys that are always in the starting 11 or in the 18, if you will. It's tough. You like. Also, I'm seeing a lot of United fans right now being like, you know, we're going to get like a really good preview on what life after Bruno Fernandes is going to look like in this team, which like maybe, but also like if we lose Bruno Fernandes, there's no way that we're not backfilling his position. So it's like not exactly like a direct 1-for-1 unless we go out and get Elliot Anderson. And then it's like, okay, if we have Anderson and Mainu or whatever, that'd be sick. Would love to see it.
Wrapping up, Dobes wanted us to make sure that we gave a shout out to his boy, Scotty McTominay.
Yup.
Napoli Super Cup champions.
Also, did you guys see his like interview that he had with Kate Abdo over the
of course Henry's gonna bring it up because he sucks United's dick a little bit.
I just was like happy that McTominay like answered the way he did. Basically, like Kate Scott, was trying to almost like bait him into like an answer of like why do players perform better when they leave Manchester United? Is Manchester United the problem? And Scott McTominay just like shut the whole thing down. Was just like absolutely not. Like that's not the issue. Like when you leave Manchester United, you have potentially a better run of games because it's so competitive to get in that Manchester United squad. You have less eyes on you, but Manchester United was helping on like my technique, on my fitness, on my nutrition, like was giving me every opportunity in the world to succeed. And I just appreciated that as like a fan that like has had his club absolutely dragged for the last several years. So shout out Scott McTominay.
All I needed was a little bit of vitamin D and some good food out of Italy.
Bro, literally, give me some tomatoes. I'm good.
It'll change your life. Yeah. It'll change your life. Yeah. But that wraps us for this week. A very Merry Christmas from the
Merry Christmas, everyone.
To all of the listeners. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah. Anything you might celebrate, we support you and we love you. We'll tap in for next week. Follow us on the socials. TikTok, Instagram. Hen's got the tweets bumping out. The videos are going good. We've got some views on some of them. Some we don't, but that's okay.
Whatever.
Because we're going to keep doing it anyway. We love it.
Bingo.
So, tap in. We're tapping out. Well done, lads.
Ooh, that's a good ending
Cheers.
line. Love that. Cheers, fellas.